Yo, what's good, everybody? We are back for another episode of Livin Big with Big Reg, and we talking Ravens. We talking Ravens versus Bucs, final preseason game. We gonna get you warmed up before that kickoff start. I know I'm saying we. My co-host isn't here quite yet. He will be here. The dynamic duo is back at it again. Listen, this game is a significant one to me, mainly because, well, obviously, big cuts are coming after this. Big roster moves. And some of our favorites may not be here anymore. Um, so I'm gonna get his thoughts on that. But first and foremost, how's everybody feeling today? I'm hoping good. I'm feeling good. It's another day. We done made it through the week, the work week. Heads up, staying positive. All negative things that may happen try to drag us down, but we keep our heads up. We keep moving anyway. That's what we do. All right, that's what we about. That's what the Living Big flock is about. We about keeping our heads up, moving forward, and trudging through no matter what obstacles may get in our way. All right, I know some of y'all don't pray, but I do. So not to stay on it too long, but it gets me through a lot. And I need y'all to continue to do whatever y'all do to get through everything y'all get through. Once again, we want to send condolences out too to the Wyndham Rotunda family for the passing of Bray Wyatt. So, listen here, right? Ravens, we got some stuff to talk about. Okay. Now, I made a statement when Trey Lance got traded from the 49ers to the Dallas Cowboys that the Cowboys are clearly not fully sold on their quarterbacks they have on the roster. Now, I think some people took that the wrong way as I'm saying Trey Lance is going to come in and compete for a starting job. Not what I mean. So when I say they're not fully secure in it, obviously teams are always looking to add more talent, but they're not usually adding guys at the quarterback position unless they're starters on the way out the door, or he's a little older, or they don't trust their backup talent. So for the Ravens, attempting to trade for Trey Lance, I feel like they don't have faith in Tyler Huntley. And rightfully so. I mean, he did cost us the playoff game against the Bengals. But we're not going to hold on to that. It's a new season. And hopefully we don't have to see Tyler Huntley on the field at all. Hopefully we get that 2019 Lamar Jackson. Scratch that. I want the 2023 Lamar Jackson. I want all new Lamar Jackson passing up and down, left and right, all over the field. And I want minimal running. I want a healthy Lamar Jackson, right? A healthy, safe Lamar Jackson. I want this man to be built upon. I want his somebody to watch his back in the pocket. I mean, G. Willikers. That's been quite the issue this preseason. And it's one of the conversations we'll have today before the game. Now, there is a guy who, we're talking about this offensive line now. There was a guy that was told he was competing for the starting left guard spot. Don't know how real that actually was. And as you know, I'm talking about Saleh. Now, Saleh might end up one of the names that don't make this roster. We were just talking about this the other day, and I don't think we brought this up as an option. Saleh will not win the starting spot But will he win a backup role? And Braden's having some trouble here. My co-host is struggling. See, we could get into that too. That's understandably so. But then again, I'm a big man, so if I gotta go up 2 floors, I'm getting on the elevator, bro. I'm just saying. 2 flights and I'm on the elevator. Sometimes 1 floor, I'm on the elevator. It depends. It really depends. Now, does Salah make this roster? And is he fighting for a spot in this game tonight? And I know it's a different question. A lot of people haven't really thought of. We've automatically said John Simpson starting left guard. Obviously, Ronnie Stanley left tackle. Linderbaum center. Zeitler right tackle. But we haven't brought up the fact that your boy might be out of here. Let's see. Mr. Bazel saying my audio's low. All right, let me check that. Give me a second here.
How are we now? Is that better? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Is that better? Hold on. Here we go. We about to get the answer right here. You ready for me? Ready to jump on? All right. Hey y'all. He's here. He made it to the show. He made it to the dance.
Man, I stayed at one light 3 times. How is the traffic on a Saturday? Please let me know.
Hey, a lot of people work the weekend.
Not that many. Not at this
So
light.
just because we're fortunate enough to, not work the weekend, it doesn't mean everybody else is. My lady's working right now. Shout out to her.
No.
She
I
has
know
time to do
this
her
light.
thing.
I grew up right there.
I'm just saying. Is the audio better, by the way? Can you hear me better? I see what happened, though.
Yeah, it's definitely louder than it was.
Yeah, my mic got switched over to the other mic I have here. So, as I was saying, Salah, you think he's on the chopping block?
The fact that he couldn't win that job or even really make it a close competition. I mean, we like young guys, but there's young guys who are competing at a way higher level. If it's between Salah and my man Vogt, I think Salah's gone.
So, it's tough because I do think. Well, here's the thing. I think here's the key, right? Is he going to be able to make it to the practice squad? Because you'd have to clear a lot of teams.
Well, here's the thing. I think here's the key, right?
All right.
To be able to make it there.
Hold on. I got my little YouTube special joint. So I got the YouTube premium. So even when I try to close it keeps going. But yeah, the audio checked up for me now. So I'm pretty sure it's good.
Oh, the other question is, can we actually see the live chat going? I mean, I had you.
Yeah, when I put audio low, it popped up, so we should be good. But that's why I usually watch it on the YouTube app also, because last stream wasn't that wasn't the move.
Yeah, I mean, StreamYard did us dirty last stream. For those of you that tuned in, I want to apologize again. We didn't see you in here because StreamYard apparently had some type of altercation where the comments weren't coming through, and we couldn't see them on my end. So I apologize for that. It looks like we're up and running today, though. But yeah, back to Salah. I was convinced that the Ravens were going to try to run him or even start him at that left guard position. I called it early on, actually. I said, I can tell you now.
Bro, you got me playing.
Oh, man. You go ahead. Take care of that. it's a rough one for you today. Yeah, I know. My co-host is having some issues here today. It's a rough one for him today. But anyway, back to what I was saying. It's one of those things where I said early on, they're gonna have solid play left guard. And that was before I had any clue they were trying them out there. And I knew it because I know the Ravens. I know well enough they saw they didn't have the depth they needed. They didn't have the guys they needed. And they were going to go, you know what? We got this young tackle we just drafted. Let's move him inside and see what he can do. And we knew that was not the wave. I think we got another iteration of our co-host here.
Don't worry, they're gonna get that content today.
I see that. Listen, we got Yolanda B in the building. How you doing, Yolanda?
We up here, but we're gonna get it done.
Hey, whatever it takes. See, my co-host always ready, man. Whatever it takes. That's a hard worker right there. Listen.
No. Of notable things, I am being social today. The wife got me out of the house.
Oh, there you go.
So I came back home to do this, and then I was supposed to go back.
That's a step in the right direction. So you took a break from what you was doing to come do the show, is what you're telling me.
Let's say the show was preferable, and what I was doing was kind of
Okay. But you do know, I had no problem if I had to do the show myself. But you always come in clutch anyway. But I would have did the show myself if I had to. You know I don't mind.
Well, see, this is like my lunch break from being social, so
yeah, we know you need that break. We saw it in case you guys don't know what we're talking about. 86ghost_. Check out his YouTube channel. He did a whole live episode on his anti-socialism. You should definitely go check it out. It's a great show. And boy, does this happen consistently. I swear to you, it just happened again. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it on the stream, but I'll complain of it numbers every single time. Every single time.
no, we're going to chalk it up to her. That's like her what they say, the well wishes and blessings.
No breaks from being sociable.
Look,
listen,
not sociable. I'm taking a break from being antisocial.
I'll take that one because it's not like you're out there just sitting in the corner. You're still talking to people, so you're still being sociable.
Yeah, I talk to the people I know.
But I agree though. As far as the other thing goes, it's like an instinct, right? So it's just he must be streaming. It's like an instinct. It just happens every single time, consistently. And it's funny because it's from day one, like from my very first stream on. It's happened every time. Here's the funny thing: we have a group chat, and me and my brother were just talking in the group chat, and I just said to him, "I'm going live at 6 p.m." He said, "Cool." He's in that group chat. And somehow, still, after 6, I get the call. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Or I'll be right back. I just realized I ain't getting better.
So, while my co-host is away, I have this situation. All right, what I'm talking about is it's hilarious, and I don't mind it, but it's funny how it consistently happens. And I am going to talk about it. I wasn't going to talk about it, but y'all family, so I'm going to bring y'all in on what's going on. Every single time I've streamed, from day one, my mother has video called me during my stream. And I always let everybody know ahead of time when I'm going to go on video, when I'm going to go live, so that I don't get calls, because my device I'm working on is attached to my cell phone. So the calls come through here. So I intentionally let people know when I'm going live so they can avoid contacting me. And somehow, every single stream I've ever done, she finds a way to contact me. Usually, it messes up my mic and my, for my Bluetooth and whatnot. Throw the stream off. It look like I'm having technical difficulties, but I'm really not. I'm just trying to shift back to this device from my phone. So it's just funny that it's today, happens again. And it seems like she's like got a streak going, and she does it intentionally. She's trying to steal the limelight. I don't know what it is, but it's hilarious. Happens every time. You gotta love family. Now, let's get back to the Ravens, because I know that's what y'all here for. But there will be some banter, because that's what we do. We go off subject a lot. We get in trouble for that. That's how we end up with 2-hour streams half the time. And I'm fighting against those. It's usually that. It's usually his fault. He's always pushing for those 2-hour streams. It's usually his fault. But
look, if we do a 3-hour stream, that means no sociality for me.
Well, we can't do that today. There's a game to watch. And conveniently enough, in my area, they're not showing it. So I'm actually going to have to end this stream anyway, so I can find somewhere to stream this game. So, I got to watch them. I got to go see who's going to play as far as the people returning back from injury. Do we see Rocky Scene out there? Arthur Millette?
That Caillou Blue.
All those guys. Hey, lockdown Caillou Blue. All right, say it right.
Look, you said you was gonna post locks in the chat when he locked people down. Them locks was broken last week.
No. I wasn't there for half the game. I told you what happened. I ended up leaving the chat for probably a quarter and a half. I was going for like a quarter and a half because I had stuff to do. And so I missed parts of the game and the chat. But my boy, I went back there. I went back and watched. And KBK was he was locking some guys down. It just doesn't get, for some reason, as a cornerback, unless the ball's thrown your way, you don't get the heroics you deserve. Like, how many times did we say about Marlowe last year? Oh, he's a lockdown corner. Why? Because they weren't throwing the ball his way. Because he was locking guys up. So that 2-minute stretch where he struggled is when they was throwing the ball his way. But every other time, he had his guys on lock. And they would not pull the trigger. But he's not getting credit for that. When he came back and he was in the third, he did not get any credit for playing lockdown up until he got hurt. Up until that play where he got hurt.
He got credit for stopping that 2-point conversion. He got big credit for that. But if he didn't get burnt on that drive and let up the touchdown, he wouldn't have needed to stop the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, but you know what? Hold on. You say that, right? And I'm glad you said that.
He wasn't as bad as number 39, though. Number 39
I'm about to get to that. That's what I'm about to get to. So I'm glad you said that, because he made a positive play. He said, you know what? I was up. Now watch this. And he stuck him. He stuck him at the 2-yard line. Head up. Great hit. Pause, because he stuck him down wild. Good evening. This is the madam that keeps calling me on all my live streams, by the way.
Oh, I knew when she said wow that you was in trouble.
Yeah. No, I'm not in trouble. I don't get in trouble. But so here's my thing, right? I think KBK is gonna have himself a game tonight. Either that, or we might not see him at all, because Coach Harbaugh might say, that's one of my guys. I need him, and I need him to be healthy, so he's going to sit out tonight's game. It's entirely possible. But I think he'll play.
You think Harbaugh's going to try to protect that confidence?
If he's smart, yes. Because if a guy's hurt You don't sit him out there to go get torched while he's hurt. You know what I mean? That's why a part of me thinks JAD won't play tonight. If we don't think he's healthy enough, or if he's out there and he's just barely healthy, it doesn't make sense to sit him out there and he get torched because he's going to kill his confidence. But guys like Mollett, they need to play.
That sounds good, but he's going to have to show some. JAD got to at least run fast.
I agree, but I'm just thinking from the mind of John Harbaugh, he thinks JAD is one of the. Remember, they drafted him out of Alabama thinking he's going to be a starter. He's going to man one of those corners. Yeah, exactly. They thought he was going to be on that outside man spot and locking stuff down. So they're going to protect somebody that they still feel is an asset, just like they've done with Owe. We haven't seen Owe all preseason. They're going to protect the guy they feel are asset.
They believe that Owe is going to be able to do what he got to do. So, Owe ain't got nothing to prove. That's what that is.
To them, that's exactly what, and he's an asset. They ain't gonna risk Owe. Now, Ojabo, on the other hand, they said all you played was one game. We got to get you out there to knock the rust off, and it hasn't looked good for him at all. But hopefully, that's just because he's only playing at half mast. Like, hopefully, he's not going full speed out there, and that's the reason why he's not looking good, because he's just not really. I don't want to say not taking it serious, but he's not giving it his all, because he wants to stay healthy.
Yeah, I think he's out there trying things and learning things and seeing what works for him. I think that's what that is. Like some of the stuff that he's doing in preseason, he's like, okay, let me see if I can do this. All right, can I do this? All right, if I bull rush and then turn it into a spin move, would that work? I think he's just throwing stuff out there to see, what's what. Get it on tape, see how he can perfect his technique, and just keep it working.
Yeah, just throwing stuff up at the wall, see what sticks. 100%. I can see that, and I will hope that that's the case because he hasn't looked very well, like out there. Like
no.
he's looked rough.
When he got drafted, when he got drafted, and coach was doing a tape on him, man, they had a guard pulling across the backside. And he went and met that guard, stuck him in his chest. And he stopped that guard dead in his tracks. So I know he has that dog in him. I know that he can set the edge, because if a guard has a full running head start and you just hit him in the chest and stop him where he stands, setting the edge probably isn't going to be too hard for him. He's more Malik Harrison than PQ. He can set the edge if he wants to, but I think he was just trying to see, I guess, where he stood. Can I do this and get away with it? Okay, that didn't work. All right, then I can't just do that and get away with it.
Well, it depends, right? Because a lot of people say his success in college was because he had Aiden Hutchinson across the way from him. Now, if that's the case, how can we then say, oh, well, having a job ball across from Owe is going to lead to success? For who? If neither of them are a threat to win one-on-one, then how can they aid each other?
Ajabo was a threat to win one-on-one. And he even had a couple plays where he actually split the guard and the tackle to win the matchup he was winning. That's why coach's grade for him was what it was. It's not just, okay, he can win one-on-one, sure. But there was times where he was splitting the guard and the tackle. And there were times where in the run game, he didn't get the tackle, but he definitely turned it back inside, or he made the guy bubble out a little bit more so a safety or corner could come back up. Now, can he get back to that with his? I think he's gonna have the same year Marcus Peters is gonna have, because they're coming off a similar injury. Last year he had his and came back the same year, and off 6 snaps he still got a sack. So you don't just go into the off season rehab and get worse.
At least we don't think you do.
Right. I'm not saying he's going to be 6-7 sack guy, but he's going to be a guy that can come in and play his role a little bit better than we thought. Him and Malik Harrison might both be on up years.
So how about this, right? a lot of us has been looking at it as have Owe and Ojabo on the field at the same time. Why not have them two rotate, especially since Bowser's out? You have them two rotate, and you have Jadeveon Clowney on the other side. Because
That's what
he's
I'm
going to
assuming.
be a great edge setter as well.
Yeah, I didn't assume that either one of them was going to be like the starter who's getting 70+% of the snaps. I have Jadeveon Clowney on one side. I have Tyus Bowser on the other side when he's healthy. And those two are going to be spelling relief. I don't
Okay, I
see
think most
Owe.
people. Go ahead.
When our team's at full strength, Tyus Bowser gets just as much pressure as Owe or Ojabo. He can cover, and he's great in the run game. I don't care if Owe can get you 4 or 5 more sacks. If you can stop the run all the time and get 4 less sacks, I take the 4 less sacks. If you can shut down the run, you don't need sacks.
I agree with that. My boy Consistency in the building. If y'all don't know, this man consistency is a great name because if you look, this man is on TikTok streaming 24/7 on the Call of Duty, lighting it up. Definitely go check him out, y'all. I agree, and I don't have a problem with that, right? And setting the edge is very, very important. But when you bring a guy in and you say he's going to be a pass rush threat, we're going to expect some sacks. Now, I know you're saying, okay, 5 sacks is good, 6 sacks is good. Is that what the rest of our fans is really expecting out of him? Just 5 or 6 sacks? What do you think?
I mean, they expect 225 tackles out of Roquan, so what they expect and what should happen ain't the same to me.
No, I agree. And obviously, I mean, expectations are one thing, and what's factual is another.
People realize that an average NFL team that averages 45 to 55 sacks a year, there's 3 guys in the middle. They're going to get 2, 3, 4 sacks apiece, at least, and that's just the starters. You have rotation guys who are going to get 1 or 2 sacks. You have 4 outside guys who are splitting those 45 or so sacks. So you're going to have one guy that has 10 or 12 sacks, and then the rest of the guys are going to have 8, 7. You're going to have a couple guys with 3, 4. You might have one guy with 5. Like, people think the Eagles are the anomaly. Yeah, they have 5 guys with 10-plus sacks, but they also had 70 sacks. They had 30 more sacks than the average NFL team gets.
This is bad.
And our average is what, like 25 sacks a year through 17 games?
I don't even think it's that. I mean, I think it might have been roughly around there last year because Houston got, 9.5? So, but the next person behind him was what, 5? 3?
So if they expect Jabo to come in and get 5, 6, and 7, if you expected Jabo to come in and get 8, then you're telling me Jadeveon's getting 2 or 3, Tyus is getting 4, Owe's getting 3 or 4, Matabike is getting 1 or 2, Travis Jones is getting 1 or 2, and then Brent Urban or I feel like his name's Bernard, or I can't remember who's the third guy. Our third defensive lineman. It always is.
You got Travis Jones,
the left,
Matabike, Broderick Washington.
Washington's going to get a 2 or so. So, I mean, what you're really telling me is if you expect Ojabo to get 8 or 9, and he's probably not even going to be a starter, who else is going to be getting tax for us? Because anybody else is going to be in the 6 or 7 range, even the starters. You can't expect Ojabo to have more sacks than the starters that we have.
I don't expect it.
I mean, I'm talking to these fans. These fans that expect it, you're tripping.
I'll say this though, as a little shout out for Yolanda, I'm hoping that Owe can give us like 11.5. Even though I don't think it's possible, I'm hoping this is that year for him because I feel like he has to show it because he's technically gone down. He's going backwards.
I don't have
he
him
said
started.
He got some new pass rush moves. Homie said he done unlocked some new moves in the off season. So I guess we're gonna see, right? But I don't know. It's just not. It's not in the favors for me. Hendo's in the building. Everybody, if you don't know, check out the Rogue Pod. Great gentleman right there and a great show. Definitely tune in. He gets it popping all week long. You can find him on your screen 24/7. All right. And it's about that time. It's about regular season time, sir.
I give you this. Okay, Oweh might have learned 3 or 4 techniques. That don't do nothing. He has to now go in the field and figure out what combination to use those techniques against exactly which guy in which situation or to work. There's guys who, Jadeveon Clowney has about 4 techniques that he uses at work, but he has to put them together against the right guy on the right play at the right time, and some of his scheme also to get those sacks. You can't just, I know 5 or 6 techniques. That's not enough to get to the quarterback. You got to put them together at the right in the right order. I know how to cook salmon, but I tell you what, if I throw the butter and lemon in there and let it cook for 5 minutes before I put the salmon in, I still ain't gonna get no flavor.
That was a wild comparison, but I like it. I like it.
I mean,
I actually like that comparison. So you
it's time and
10 sacks this season for Oweh. Is that realistic for you?
You said 8 to 10?
Mm-hmm. She said 8 to 10
Only
sacks.
because I don't. If we're gonna play our best players and keep them fresh, always only playing about 25 to 30% of the snaps. So, I mean, if it's an obvious running play, it's going to be Clowney and Bowser that are on the edges.
So here's the thing.
Like third
Bowser
down
is gonna be more for that pass coverage. He's gonna do a lot of dropping back.
But he would still be on the right side, and he would still be an outside guy.
I don't know.
I don't see that.
Remember, our big thing is Mike McDonald puts everybody in their best position to succeed. Why wouldn't they take Tyus Bowser in those obvious pass situations, put him at the weak side linebacker spot instead of PQ, have him and Roquan out there covering while you got 4 other guys rushing?
Because you have Harrison, Harrison is also good enough to be in coverage and stop the run. So I will put
he can stop the run,
inside.
But he can't. Harrison can't cover. Harrison can't cover to save his life. He can stop the run. That's what he does. He's a thumper, but he's slower than PQ.
By certain tight ends, but he's in position more than PQ's in position.
Okay, I respect that. I respect that.
Because if that's what you're going to say, that's what you're going to say, Kai, you ain't.
Hold on. Are you telling me you'd rather see Malik Harrison in coverage than Tyus Bowser? That's the comparison I'm making right now.
What I'm saying is I would put Tyus Bowser on the right outside and let Harrison play the right inside linebacker. I don't see a way where I'm trusting on third down on the field. Like, you're not going to take Roquan off. You're not going to take Clowney off. If you take PQ off.
That's what I'm saying. You pull PQ off, put Bowser over there to cover, right? Now you're looking at Jadeveon Clowney. He can play more of a 3 technique. You can slide him inside. Him, Matabike, Ojabo, and Oweh all rushing the pass at the same time. That might be the way to go, because then you still have short coverage with Tyus Bowser back there.
I mean, that sounds good, but how often can you do that? How often can you take that risk?
It's only a situation where you're talking third and long, where it's guaranteed pass defense. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying on those third down packages where it's guaranteed pass, why not go with that package? That's a speed package right there.
And still, you cannot do it. You can only do it so much, because you can fake like you're blitzing one play, You can actually bring the blitz the other play. You can fake a blitz and drop back in zone on one play.
You wouldn't be blitzing.
You're
You're
not-
sending 4. You're sending 4.
So you're
if
gonna
you're,
drop
if you're literally sitting there, and if you're sitting there and you drop back there 3rd and 13, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 10 plus, all you got to do is cover the sticks. I want my best guys covering the sticks, and I want my best guys rushing up, my best pass rushers rushing the passer. Tyler Fowler,
are you
he's
taking
a great edge setter. He's also a tremendous pass coverage guy. I think he's the guy you drop back.
But are you taking the whole D line off the field to make this happen?
No, that's what I'm saying. Your D line is going to be Jadeveon Clowney, who can play in the middle. You got edge with Ojabo. That's essentially a defensive end. So you got your edge, and then you got your other edge Owe, and then you got Matabike. That's your rush. You don't need the big guys on that front line when you're trying to rush the passer.
You're arguing something different. I'm saying I would not take out Bowser or Clowney to get Owe in the game. Now, if you're taking out the D lineman to get him in the game, that's different.
So no. What I'm saying is I wouldn't use Bowser as a rusher in that situation. I'm saying I would put him over Malik Harrison at that linebacker position and take PQ off the field to get Owe out there. That's the justification I'm having, because your replacement, yes, you can still use them to replace the D lineman, which is essentially what you'll be doing anyway. But yeah, that's I don't want Broderick Washington, and I mean maybe Travis Jones, because he's probably going to be better at rushing the passer this year. But I'm trying to minimize the number of big guys I have there to put speed on the field. And I'm not saying with that speed I don't want Tyus Bowser rushing, but I'd rather have him in coverage. So if you pull Malik Harrison off, pull PQ off, and put Tyus Bowser there, and then you got 5 DBs, I think that's the way to go. You know what I'm saying? So you got the speed down with the 4, and you rush with them. You got the 2 linebackers in the middle covering, and then you got they're surrounded by DBs. And I think Trenton Simpson's going to be playing your nickel at that point. So you got speed all over the field. And coverage, it should be a lockdown coverage every time.
It could work, but if you use it too much, you're going to get burned by an offensive player. If you did that against Todd Monken on 3rd longs, he's going to run you something wild, and you'll be like, okay, high risk, high reward. It worked the first time. It might work the first 2 times, but by that 3rd or 4th quarter, he's going to make an adjustment, and you're going to get roasted on that same play.
It's going to be – listen, there's tons of options you have there, tons of tough coverage options. You're still just rushing 4. The only thing you have to worry about is the guys staying in coverage. I mean, obviously, if these guys actually get to the quarterback, that would be good, but it's not like you're running one coverage. You could take those 4, rush them, and then you can end up blitzing one of the linebackers. You could blitz Roquan, and now you're sending 5, but you still have plenty back in coverage. That's why I say Tyus Bowser on the field is better than PQ or Malik Harrison in that situation, because he can cover more field. He's a better cover guy than the both of them.
I'm saying it'll work, but you have to do it here and there. It's not something you can rely on. It's not something you could try out there too often, because somebody's going to figure out a way to burn it, and they will burn you good. Because if you run that at me, and I run the old Joe Gibbs running back step to the left, and then he cuts right, and those guards get to pulling on you, and that's who you have rushing, and then everybody's playing man zone mix, I'm getting 15 on you. I'm running you for 15. Every time I see that package out there, I'm running left.
I don't think so, because that's what. So in that coverage, I got a guy for the running back, specifically covering the running back, and that's going to be Roquan or Tyus. So those are the guys that's going to check the coverage and make whatever changes need to be changed.
Whatever side he comes from, you're butterball ass naked. So if that guy runs that counter play to the right side or the left side,
they're not. That's what I'm saying. Those guys aren't blitzing though. Those linebackers aren't blitzing. I said it's possible to sit them on a blitz if you wanted to, but those guys are going to be for coverage. So it's almost going to be like a QB spy, but it's really on the running back.
I understand what you're saying, but when I have pulling guards and tackles, and I have a guy doing a down block for your guy who's coming around the backside, who's trying to run that play down, and I have a Keith Mitchell or the guy out of Seattle, and I have a speed back, he's getting out the gates on him. Because when those two down blocks happen to stop the defensive end, if that linebacker doesn't get through that fray clean and you have a speed back, a J.K. Dobbins would eat you alive on that play if you try to run that and I run a counter stretch at the right time.
So basically what you're telling me is that these defensive linemen, when they're rushing, the Ojabos, the Jadeveon Clownies, the Oways, they don't know that they can stop the rush on the way to the pass. Like that's literally what they're taught. They're taught to stop the run on the way to the pass, like on the way to the quarterback. So these guys are essentially rushing and setting the edge at the same time. So if you run a counter, and I got Jadeveon Clowney on that opposite side, he's not just going to run by the running back. Like, that's not how that works. I get what you're saying.
He's not going
but he's going to set – these guys are going to set the edge when that situation happens. If you run a counter bash in the middle of me, you got 4 wides, and you decide I got two linebackers in the middle. One's going – you don't even need one to watch the tight end. You got one watching the QB and one on the running back. Think about that. It's a QB spot. They're gonna be there. Not one of them, but both of them.
As a lineman, my damn self, if we're running a counter stretch zone, when that down block happens, I'm killing your defensive tackle. I'm killing your right end. The tackle has your left end. That guard center combo is leaving out this way.
Kill him.
There's nothing your linebacker can do to chase it down from the backside. If I run that counter, the correct connection of where I need to go, and it's a back that's fast enough, he's getting out the gates. There's nothing your backside linebacker can do.
You're assuming that our guys don't know how to shed a block.
I'm not assuming they don't know how to shed a block, but a down block in the first half-yard line of scrimmage is freaking impossible to get out of if you've already started your pass rush, because your leverage is to get where the QB is, and the offensive lineman knows all he has to do is let you go that way because the running back's going this way. It's the same thing as a screen. You let them in and you let them get back out.
But screens are delayed. If you hike that ball and you hand it off immediately. Now, if you're talking about a delay, fine. A delay stretch, I can see that happening. But if you're talking about you hike that ball and just hand it off, these guys know to play the run on the way to the pass. They know that. All professionals know that. I'm not just saying our line. I'm saying any D-line knows you play the run on the way to the pass. But I want to answer Yolanda real quick. I read a couple of reports that Bowser will be ready for game 1 of the regular season. That's what I read. I don't know how accurate it is, but I did read a few that said that.
I think at best he will play some snaps, but it'll be getting back into shape snaps. He's not going to be at his full position like that.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be full go either. But I don't think he's going to be full go either. But to have him out there with his leadership will be phenomenal. We got Zeke in the building. What's good, Zeke? It'll be absolutely amazing to have him back in the building because his leadership is needed. What do you mean intentional grounding is on hiatus? Like, how? That is 100% a sports show, sir, and we need that because the football season is starting up. That needs to be weekly, like daily.
Intentional grounding is going on hiatus because he's going to be doing other stuff that will pretty much interfere with doing intentional grounding. Now that we're back to the meat and potatoes of the season, he's going to be doing other episodes that's going to get that same information out. So,
okay, so what you're saying is he's going to be doing more shows than just intentional grounding.
I mean, he may be doing more shows, but he'll get the information out, but he might not just wait till 6 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday to do it. It might be more smaller videos throughout the day.
Nah, I see that's a problem because we're expecting live, right? We want to see them live, right? So,
I'm content how I can get it. The quality is all I care about.
I get it.
I prefer live, but the quality of content is all that matters. As long as the quality is there and I get the information I need, hey, We all good.
I think she has insider information here. He will.
I mean, he might stream.
I love that. Yes, I love that. I love that. Definitely have him stream multiple days. He absolutely will. He's the hardest. Listen, he's the hardest working man in the business. He's going to love it.
Hey, you want to know something that's crazy?
What?
These fire alarms still going on, and the fire truck just showed. Fire truck just showed up about 3-4 minutes ago. So
there ain't no actual fire in there. Like, it better not be no actual fire in there somewhere.
There is. It just goes off like that. It just randomly it'll go off, or somebody's been pulling it. Some of the two. So basically, I could have walked outside at the party and did this and walked back in. I came home for the sanctity and the people.
This is true.
Oh,
this is true.
Is that?
Can
you hear me now?
I don't hear no more. Hey man, next time just let me know what your freaking fire alarm panel is, and I'll tell you how to reset it yourself. I know how to do all of that.
I know how to do it, but the panel requires the fireman's key. Trust me. I know how to look at what button it is to tell you where it was pulled or where it's going off from, and I can go up there and check it. But the fireman's key that they have, I ain't got no way into that.
What kind of system is it? Because I probably got the key.
But at this point, it's been pulled so many times. The FBI's been involved, so I don't even want to be the one to reset it to make it go right. I get blamed.
I don't want no fingerprints over there. Touche. I respect that. I got one, two. I got probably 4 different companies. Fire alarm keys. I don't know. I gotta find them all. That's one of the perks of doing fire alarm work out here. You get to keep one of the panel keys because they send so many copies. You just keep one just in case you ever got to go back or there's a situation. It's one of the perks. So if I got a situation about somebody's building things going off for no reason, I just go pop it open and turn it off.
Ooh, my phone lighting up. I see all these live games, all these live streams for the game.
Oh, okay, I thought you had some breaking news coming through. I was about to say,
Look, Coach got his set up.
Coming through.
I'm be at the party with the Bluetooth. Don't worry, baby. This is Secret Service business. I need you to step away. Touchdown. Confirm.
Hey, listen. You're going to hear a lot of touchdowns confirmed for the Bucs if 39 is on the field. Mason, that boy trash.
Why for a second, Mayfield Jr., for a split second, he had turned his head, and I swear he looked like OJ the Juice Man's nephew.
Listen. I know he must be OJ the Trash Man then, because only juice he had was boo-boo juice. That's it. He was horrible. Horrible. I've never seen such bad coverage. See, at least when KBK was getting beat, he was still there trying to make the play. Mayfield was just leaving dudes open and then trying to chase him down after. Like this, it was bad. He had that. He got taken out so bad on the route. He had to interfere. Come on now. You know when they do it to you, you got to grab the jersey. Like, come on, girl. That had the touchdown immediately. He got beat and had to grab the jersey.
You better defend your boy KBK because my man, Hendo just fried him. One shot.
Hendo ain't frying nothing. Listen, Hendo doesn't like any player who's not a first rounder. So I can't take his opinion seriously right now because Hendo has a problem with you if you're not selected in the first round.
You don't like the first round.
He got a problem with you if you select. Yeah, exactly. sometimes he got a problem with you if you selected in the first round. C, Oway, and C, Mr. 14. And from here on out, I'm gonna try to call him just 14 until he proves to me he can cover. And y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say his name. I'm trying to see him make some plays. Got Brodney in the building.
Wow.
1/2 lunch break hot take. Thank you for showing up, sir.
He said if KBK gets cut, you ain't gonna hit the end of it.
Listen, that's perfectly fine. KBK gets cut, then I deserve to not hear the end of it. I deserve.
And you know what?
You know what? Every bit of that smoke.
Yolanda gonna be on your case because she's gonna be able to say at least Oway ain't gonna get cut. Yolanda gonna pop up. See, Oway never got cut, and you got to live with it. You ain't gonna be able to slander Oway
because I'm on her side. So I'm on her side when it comes to Oway nowadays. I'm trying to give him the benefit of a doubt. And,
who's Daryl Green Jr.?
She's not a violent person, so I don't think she would do that.
Who's Daryl Green Jr.?
She's not. He's being sarcastic right now. I think he's being sarcastic right now. Yeah, see?
Don't Daryl Green like he played for 21 years. He was the fastest dude on the team.
The sarcasm. You know what I mean? See what I mean?
Tell him, Brodney.
What you mean? I've been saying for a while now. I just said a couple streams ago, I hope he gets like 11.5 sacks this year. I don't think he will necessarily. That's a high number, but I think he's going to get close. He'll get at least 10. 11.5 is high to jump up from 3 to 11.5. But 10 is possible. He's in the realm, sir.
You see how they doing your man in the chat? He's getting fried. Rod Woodson Jr. though?
No, that's a compliment. He's good. Listen, what he's doing is he's trying to get me to bite on these Hall of Fame names to try to say I'm going to say that Caillou Blue Kelly is like one of them. When I've said from the start that Caillou Blue Kelly to me would be a really good starting cornerback in the league. I never said nothing about him having Hall of Fame potential. I know I joke around like, yeah, he locked down. But I've never once said he had Hall of Fame potential, ever. So I'm not saying he's gonna be like any of those dudes.
What about this?
I don't think he's gonna know. I don't see Hall of Fame potential. I see a dark. I said this to Hendo. I said he's scrappy, and I think he'll be a scrappy starting corner. And that's exactly what it is.
Do I need to start dancing around like Missy Elliott? I can't say in the rain because you dodging raindrops right now, boy.
I ain't dodging no raindrops. This is just fact. This is what I said. It's all documented. He's scrappy. Matter of fact, I remember having a conversation with Hendo. I said he's scrappy, and the thing I love about him is that he'll come up and he'll make the tackle on the running back. He's not afraid to stick his nose in there and go for the shot. And it's exactly what he proved in that last game. So he so far has been on point with what I said, except for 2 small minutes of a game, which I know 2 minutes in football could be very long, but exceeding those 2 minutes, past those 2 minutes, he's been very good, which is exactly what I said he would be.
2 minutes is a lot of time when you try to protect the lead.
Tell that to 39. He only had to do it for like 40 seconds and gave up, 5 first downs in that time? Man, listen.
First domino. Don't blame the man who got picked on at the end of the game. Blame the man who gave them the lead in the first place.
Listen, if we doing that, then
I mean, you blaming Mayfield. You blaming Mayfield because he saved the day after your man gave up the day.
That's not true. That's not true.
That's like saying
Did we or did we not? did we or did we not still have a lead up until that point in the game?
If KBK didn't let up that touchdown, we'd had a 2-touchdown lead, so Mayfield wouldn't have even been in the situation.
So what you're saying is you're trying to say, hold on. What you're trying to say is, no matter what, right? Mayfield wouldn't have had to make those stops at some point in that game.
If KBK would have made the stop he needed to,
hold on. Here's a news flash.
Not even be necessary. It would be an afterthought. It would be.
Here's a news flash, right? Here's a news flash. No matter what happens up until that point in the game, we're going to get to that situation where the Commanders are still trying to drive and score. Why? Because we were still in the lead. They were going.
If there's 7
points to prove.
But if there's 7 points less, Mayfield.
If it was a 7-point game, a 10-point game, they're still trying to make those plays. They're just not kicking a field goal. They're going for the end zone. That's the only difference. So it really doesn't matter.
So at the end of the day, if KBK makes his plays, if KBK makes his plays, even if they score on Mayfield, they have to score a touchdown to win the game, not a field goal, correct?
But they still win the game. You know why? Because Mayfield would have gave up the touchdown. He wasn't targeting 5 straight plays. He targeted Mayfield. He was not. You think that he was going to target him for 5 plays and then go, "We need a touchdown." So you know what? I'm gonna target whoever's over here on the right side instead. No, he's gonna target the same guy that was getting burnt the whole night.
You know what I'm gonna tell you?
Mayfield would have gave up the touchdown too.
You know what I'm gonna tell you? Yolanda, can you throw an objection for speculation?
So what you're saying is hearsay, which is not. You can't use that in court. Hearsay is not hearsay. In court.
If he didn't let the touchdown, if he didn't get scored,
your whole argument is speculation. That if KBK didn't give up the touchdown, we would have won. That's speculation. It's all speculation.
I didn't say we'd have won. I said if KBK didn't give up the touchdown, Mayfield would not be in the same situation because the situational part of the football game would be the whole situation.
That's speculation because we don't know that. Yes, it is. Because how do we not know that these guys don't get the touchdown somewhere else if KBK doesn't give it up?
They can give the touchdown.
So therefore, it's speculation.
No, because I'm going on what actually happened, and you're going on if they didn't. You can't say if they would have scored.
Hindsight is a beautiful thing. You can look back now with hindsight and say, okay, this is what happened. So you can go back and alter with hindsight. But during the game, if we're in that situation, right?
Amen, Yolanda.
Doesn't give us a touchdown.
Check your chat. You're losing this one.
You're the one assuming. You're assuming. You're literally because you're assuming the fact. The fact is that KBK gave up the touchdown. You said if he didn't, we would have won the game. We don't know that.
Get it?
Because that was not the end of the game. That was only the second quarter. So we don't know what would have happened.
I'm just saying, legitimately, if that touchdown wasn't scored on KBK, you're then not in the same exact situation that you were in the first place. So if they would have scored on somebody else, that's still an if.
No, we don't know that, though. You're saying we wouldn't have been in the same situation, but we don't know that. I agree. Other people are bad.
For a fact, they scored on him. That's what is fact. Anything after that is speculation. And my fact is they scored on him, and that score made it more difficult for later on in the game. That's all I'm saying. Now, if you want to say if they scored on
the only thing I'm saying, the only thing I'm disagreeing with, right? I know KBK gave up the touchdown. I know the game would have been closer. Wouldn't have been close if he didn't at that point. But what I'm saying is we can't then change the whole dynamic of the rest of the game and say, oh, well, if KBK doesn't give up the touchdown, then they don't score again. We don't know that. So that's all I'm saying.
They don't know. I said if they didn't score that touchdown, then it's a different dynamic for the rest of the game. I didn't say if KBK, XYZ. I said if they didn't score the touchdown at all whatsoever, you're in a different version of situational football. That's all I said. Now, if they scored it on somebody else, they scored on somebody else.
How do we know that though? Is what I'm. How do we know that? Is what I'm asking you. Because you're then going back to that second quarter and you're changing the dynamic of the second quarter. So we don't know what goes on once you change that dynamic, right? It's just like, sorry to go off subject here, but it's just like in Marvel when people travel back in time and when they change something and you come forward, guess what? Everything's changed. So we don't know what that outcome would have been.
What I'm saying is they scored it on Caillou. And had they not scored the touchdown, I'm not saying they wouldn't score. Had they not scored that touchdown, not on Caillou or anybody, had they not scored that touchdown, it's a different dynamic the rest of the game. Mayfield doesn't look like the idiot that he is because we're up however many scores possibly because Caillou didn't get scored on.
So what you're saying is, I want to get this clear. Had the offense done their job, we still would have won the game?
No, the offense did their job. Had the defense on that side.
Hold on. The offense did their job. You're saying the offense did all they're asked to do and putting up 28 points. That's only 7 points a quarter.
You get 28 points, you should be able to stop the rest.
Okay, so
I mean,
so is it that one player didn't do his job, or is it that our defense as a whole didn't do their job? Because if I'm hearing this correctly, that means Mayfield had a job to do at the end of the game to stop that guy from scoring, and we would have won the game.
And what you're hearing correctly is had KBK done his job, it would have been a lot easier for Mayfield to do his job. Now that's team defense, ain't that something? He walked smooth into that one. Please tell him, people.
Hold on. How would that have been easier for Mayfield to do his job? Because as I said, they still would have been driving to try to score. Either way, we don't know if they would have scored on another play. So this is what I'm saying. You're saying erase that one play from KBK that gives up the touchdown, and all of a sudden we're up by how many ever points. But that's not true.
Drive. Erase the whole drive with KBK.
So now you realize the whole part of the game out.
Terrible.
You can't erase a whole part of a football game.
But if
I could go to the end of the game and say, I could go to
those five.
Game,
it's a different.
Look, I could go to the end of the game, right, and say, had he missed that field goal, we would have won the game. That's factual because that's the only thing that was left to possibly happen. But when you're in the middle of the game with 2 minutes left in the second quarter and 2 whole quarters to go, you don't know what's going to happen next. So you're basically saying, let's take the whole game back. So forget the fourth, forget the third. Let's go all the way back to the second. And that's what decided the game. That makes zero sense. I don't know.
It was the third.
I don't know any time in my life where a game's been decided in the first 2 quarters when there's 2 more to go.
That was the third because Diami wasn't in the second. Scary Terry was still playing.
Go back and check. Please go back and check because Washington only scored 3 points in the third quarter. That was the second quarter when that happened. Second quarter. So you're saying that whole third and fourth quarter did not matter. That's the point I'm trying to get at. You can't sit here and say the game was over at halftime. It wasn't.
If your man makes 2 more plays, your man makes 2 plays out of the 5 catches that he let up, the whole game is different. Okay, and he failed to make the play.
So I can sit here and say the same thing. If Mayfield makes 2 plays out of the 5 first downs he gave up, the whole game is different.
But what I'm saying is, if you're waiting for if you're going to blame the whole thing on the last domino, you're saying, he couldn't save the game.
The game comes down to the last domino because it's decided in 4 quarters, not 2. If the game was decided in 2 quarters, then yes, Caillou gave up the game. But it's decided in 4, which means the entire defense gave up the game. Which means not just Mason. I'm not saying it's just him. It means our offense didn't do enough scoring either. It means as a team, they gave up the game. You can't turn back and say, in the second quarter, Caillou Blue Kelly lost this game. Where does that make sense?
I didn't say he lost the game. The only thing I said is if he.
You're stating we're not in the position for them to make a game-winning field goal if Caillou doesn't give up touchdowns in the second quarter. I'm saying the 2 quarters doesn't end the game.
I literally said the situation at the end of the game is different if Caillou makes those plays. I didn't say if he doesn't, they don't. I didn't say they don't score on anybody else. I said the complexion of the game is different if he makes those 2 plays because one was on a third. So he makes that.
I got another one for you there. Here we go. If the defense makes any stops in the second half in that fourth quarter, then we're looking at a different game in the last 2 minutes. If the offense scores another touchdown in the third quarter, we're looking at another game in the fourth quarter. It's completely different. So where does that matter? It doesn't. You know why? Because it wasn't what happened in the fourth quarter. It wasn't what it looked like at the end of the game. So if the offense kicks at least a field goal, then guess what? Mayfield's not in the same position. Ain't that what you're saying? It's all conjecture. If the offense scores another touchdown, then Mayfield's not in the same position at the end of the game.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying. But you are taking it as I'm blaming Caillou for the whole game.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's all conjecture. We don't know that early in the game. We didn't know. He didn't know. We didn't know that would be a key moment in the game because it shouldn't have been because it's only the second quarter. What I'm saying is
I didn't even say
the whole loss, and it's not just you because I've heard other people say if Caillou Blue Kelly ain't give it up, we won that game. So
I just said if that the rest of the game.
That's the only point I'm trying to make is that the game didn't end in the second quarter.
Okay, and I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing if he plays it differently, the game ends differently. If we don't play Anthony Brown at all, the game ends differently. If we played Snoop in the first quarter, the game ends differently. That's all I'm saying. The game was not lost by Mayfield. Mayfield got to the end, and everybody was like, "Well, Mayfield, you got to save the game." You can't blame Mayfield for not saving the world when everybody else had their mistakes along the way. That's all I'm saying. Because you're like, "Oh, Mayfield, he messed up the whole."
But you keep bringing up you and others. But you and others keep bringing up Caillou Blue Kelly for not saving the world in the second quarter. So your argument is fighting itself. That makes no sense. First off, before we continue, I want to give a shout out to Fairs. I want to give a shout out to Fairs for stopping in. What up, brother?
Caillou's your boy. That's the only reason I make that joke. But it don't matter.
I get that. I get that.
Different.
I get that, right? I get that. Because Caillou's my boy. I've endorsed him, and I hold to that. I have endorsed him all the way, right? And this is not arguing, Hendo. It's called debate. It's good for television, brother. It's good for television. So my thing is, right? Everybody wants me to defend my boy. That's what people come to me for. And that's what you want me to do. So that's what I'm doing. I'm defending him. And in this case, what you're saying does not add up. Because
what I'm saying
we can add just conjecture to a whole game. It just wouldn't matter.
But we know, all that I'm saying, we know if Caillou Blue Kelly makes 2 plays, the complexion of the game changes. And that's all I said. If he makes 2 out of those 5 plays, complexion of the game changes. And you probably don't even think of Mayfield's name because at that point, it's out of reach. It doesn't matter. I didn't say for sure. If he makes those plays, the complex of the game changes. And Mayfield probably doesn't even matter anymore.
Hold on. We'll get back to that in a second. A debate, sir, is not an argument. All right? The argument equals people calling each other names and all this other type of stuff. This is literally just a fun debate. You got to make the preseason interesting somehow. We got to keep it to where we're looking at this. We're basically making it where roster cuts right now is a thing. People are now going to be looking to see, is Caillou Blue Kelly going to get cut? You know why? Because we just brought his name to attention. You think anybody else is out there thinking about whether Caillou Blue Kelly is going to make the roster? Whether Mayfield's going to make the roster? Absolutely not. They know who they want on their roster. But now we're bringing this forward, and it gives people something else to talk about. But it's definitely not arguing.
Ferris, I know you ain't talking. Ferris still here cussing people out.
What'd you say? Ferris what?
Ferris been on here cussing people out.
He do. Ferris be going crazy on people. But you know what?
Ferris
fun, though. It's all fun.
Whatsoever. He be out in the first minute and a half.
I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen one of those. I've never seen an argument with somebody that doesn't even call the name of some sort. I've never seen it.
Oh, I know Ferris knows.
That'll be a first for me. Do I look crazy? Do I look crazy? B, do I look crazy? No, I'm not going to shave him off my eyebrow. If KBK gets cut, then I admit that he wasn't good enough to make this Ravens roster to them.
That sounds great. What are you going to do if KBK gets cut? Put some skin in the game.
First off, we know KBK is not going to get cut.
Put some skin in the game.
But I'll do this one for you. Right? I'll do this one for you. I don't sound crazy, B. I don't. I sound like a man fighting for someone who he believes has the talent to make the roster, especially this quarterback roster.
Girl, you tiptoeing on that pause line. You better keep that real clean.
So I did. I kept it clean. That was very clean, actually. I saved it. It almost went down. It almost went down the wrong path.
All you had to say was, "I'm fighting for another man," and I just fell off the balcony. It'd have been over.
Yeah, nah. See, that's why I cleaned it up. I knew that was coming. See that? No, but I'll do this for you though, and I'll say this on stream. If for some reason KBK doesn't make the roster, I will do a live that any one of you want me to do. I'll go on everybody's show if I have to, and I will willingly admit that not only was I wrong, it was an outrageous choice for me to put a backing on KBK.
Look, we know
I will openly, never again stand out for a rookie coming into the league.
Rodney, Hendo, don't fall for that. You see what he's trying to do? He's trying to get a guaranteed guest spot on y'all shows. That's what he's trying to do. I see you playing. You ain't playing.
Wow. No, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put that outreach out there. I would get on everybody's show and say, listen, I'm embarrassed. I openly fought and went to bat for this man since he was drafted.
Here's what I'm going to need you to do.
That.
I got a rule. Here's what I'm going to need you to do. I'm going to need you
What's up, Lou?
to dress up as the preacher version of Young Jeezy if KBK gets cut.
Babe, I'll see you soon. Could dress up as the preacher version. Listen,
preacher version of Young Jeezy if KBK gets cut.
I can't do that, but what I will do is I'll come on here and admit I was wrong. If we have to find some type of punishment for it, we'll figure one out. But
look, don't say that because Hendo already thinking. He writes stuff down on his notepad.
I know he is. But I truly believe he's gonna make this roster. I don't think there's a reason for him not to. If I'm gonna be honest with you, when I look at the depth we have at corner, not many players you're gonna say it's outright better than him. As much as that's not saying much for his talent, but that's saying a lot for this roster.
Don't call it depth. We got debt at corner. We're in debt. We bail out.
Wow. You know what? I'll take that. If Kyle Kelly does not make the Ravens roster, I will buy a Stiller jersey.
No, full gear. Hat, sock.
My pants is gonna be on I'm not showing my lower half, but I will buy a Stiller jersey
and a hat. And glasses.
And go on the not glasses. I just wear regular glasses. I buy a Stiller jersey and hat.
Hey, and I need you to have a terrible towel.
And go on the show. I'll do it. I'll do it. I got
terrible.
so much faith in him making the roster. I'm not doing that spicy chip thing. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. This is not a big enough bet for the spicy chip thing. I'll tell you what, though. If we get a big enough bet, we can do a big enough bet where, you know, a number of us are in on it. Maybe come Super Bowl, once everybody picks a side of the Super Bowl, the losing half has to do the one chip challenge. Maybe I'm just throwing that out there.
I mean, I've done it before. So it won't be nothing new.
Well, no, I believe in them. I'm just not. I don't like spicy that much. I like spicy, but not that much. I'm just not crazy. I believe in Caillou Blue Kelly. I'm just not crazy.
So you believe in miracles?
Even more so, I don't believe in the rest of the cornerback room. If you want to be honest, JAD still hurt. Yeah, I'm here. You know, you got JAD still hurt. Pepe just got surgery. And those are the two main guys that I would have said would have stopped KBK from making a roster. Arthur Moret was just hurt.
Look, let me tell you something, too. Don't think you slick. Practice squad does not count. If he ain't on that 53
No, I'm saying the 53. I'm saying the 53.
Okay, don't be like Sugar, renegotiate after the fact.
No, I'm saying 53. I think he makes the 53. I think it's going to be Marlowe. Remember, the 53 isn't going to be set probably till after week one, but I'm hoping by week one you'll see it.
Now, the 53 has to be set
Marlowe,
where they can IR people. They have to set a 53.
Yeah, no, I'm saying they're going to it's going to change a lot is what I'm saying. So, like, initially they'll cut people.
That first one,
bring them on.
That first one is the 53. Because you can't
go by the first one because the first one is going to be just putting people on IR, and they got to make the roster to go on IR.
Yeah,
that
so
might be the guy's spot.
53, that's not making the team. That's somebody got hurt and we've signed you.
That's still making the 53 at that point.
Oh no! See, here we go.
If he plays in the week, not plays in the week one game, but if he's on the 53 by the week one game, that's making the 53.
He has to be on the original 53.
Where does that make sense? Half the original 53 is going to be injured.
But the players. So that's like Huntley making his Pro Bowl by injuries. Nobody counts
exactly that. What happened. That's exactly what happened. That's why none of us counted. Which is why playing it. So Huntley got it. That's why we don't count it. That's the point I'm making. Thank you for making my point. That was perfect, by the way. So when these guys make the roster just to get injury stash,
making the injury roster. That's all he makes. If he makes the injury roster, I guess, because we got about 3-4 guys we gotta put on the roster and then put on IR before.
If he's on the 53 by week one, that means he made the roster. By the first game, that means you made the 53. Because they're gonna. It's literally a thing where we want to keep this guy, but we gotta keep this guy. So players like Marlowe, Tyus Bowser, different big names that's hurt, you're not gonna cut them. You want to give them the 53 spot so you can put them on IR until a later point. But you like this kid enough to make the 53. That's how they, we all know that's how they do it. That's the NFL's been like this for years.
So me and you missing the game? Are we missing the game right now? Yep. Tackled by KB.
We are missing the game right now. We are missing the game. And Prochet done caught a pass. Let's go, Prochet.
Hey, let me get that back on DVR.
Let's go, bro. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to find a way to go watch this game. That's outrageous. Did this turn into a watch along somehow? I'm not watching the game.
Coach is doing the watch along.
Hold on. This might have turned into a watch along. Let me see if I can get the game up on something.
Yeah, a watch along for you. You try to get me killed.
I'm trying to get you killed.
Is the wife gonna be like, you ain't back yet?
Oh, you can go back. You know what? Yeah, we'll end the stream because I don't want you to die. We'll end the stream. Treadwell just caught a touchdown pass. Okay. I guess we cheer for we cheered for Crochet, and then Treadwell was like, cut that out. I need a spot. We'll go with that. Yeah, I'll shut that down. I'll worry about that. All right, so we're gonna end this. It's been a great show. We appreciate everybody that came through. I love y'all. We had a bunch of the great stuff in here. I appreciate y'all coming through. Co-host Mr. B Square, aka Ghost. You want to let them know where to find you real quick?
Hey, you already said it. A6 Ghosts on YouTube and add an underscore for Instagram and Twitter.
And y'all know where to find me, Living Big with Big Reg, here on YouTube and TikTok and Twitter. Let us know how you feel. If you're watching the playback, leave some comments. Let me know what you think about the show, and let these dudes know KBK is that dude, right? He's gonna be that dude. Y'all stay blessed. We love y'all. Check y'all on the next one. Like, share, subscribe, and check out the store. I always forget to throw that in. Etsy.com/LivinBigwithBigRegg. Check out the store. Get some merch. All right. Peace.
Peace.